I was reborn alongside my wife, transported back to the night before our wedding. She pulled off her diamond engagement ring and threw it on the table. Julian, I'm not marrying you. I agreed without a second thought. 6 years later, I returned to New York for a high-profile charity gala. There she was, clinging to her true love, the entertainment industry's newest heartthrob, looking for all the world like a power couple under the crystal chandeliers. Meanwhile, I was quietly sneaking a slice of cake from the dessert cart into a to-go box. Victoria caught me in the act and immediately launched into a sneer, drawing the attention of the entire room. Master Thorne, can you not even afford a slice of cake anymore? I sighed and officially announced my new relationship on social media right then and there. Victoria lost her mind. Julian, did I give you permission to marry someone else? Everyone was gathered around Victoria Sterling, congratulating her and Caleb Reed on finally being together. Ms. Sterling, congratulations. Your years of unrequited love finally paid off. You have to invite us to the wedding, someone gushed. What unrequited love? This is clearly a mutual obsession, another chimed in. One is a titan of industry, the other is a future A-lister. 2 words, power couple. Victoria raised her glass with a faint smile, taking a delicate sip of red wine. Her peripheral vision, however, kept darting toward me. Hearing the word A-lister, the corner of my mouth twitched. I lifted my phone, snapped a photo of the lavish dessert cart, and let my fingers dance across the keyboard. Victoria thought I was smirking at her, and a look of displeasure crossed her face. Just then, someone brought up our ancient history. I heard the Thorne heir is here today. Didn't they cancel the wedding back then? The Thorne family practically vanished after that. TSK tisk. Business trouble, right? What's the shame in bowing your head to a woman for help? Look how successful Victoria is now. You must be dying of regret. Victoria let them speculate, saying coolly, people have to pay the price for their wrong choices. As the subject of their gossip, I couldn't care less. My mind was entirely occupied by matcha mousse. I asked a waiter for a box and carefully packed the small slice of cake. Just as I was about to leave the ballroom, Victoria's mocking voice rang out from behind me. Look at you. Have you no dignity left? Julian Thorne, have you fallen so low you have to steal leftovers? Her voice drew every eye in the room to the bag in my hand. The gazes shifted, becoming strange, filled with deep disdain. This was a black tie event, after all. People qualified to be here didn't pack cakes to go. Judging by their expressions, they suspected I had crashed the party just to scavenge food. I don't see anything shameful about it. I shrugged, my smile casual and unbothered. This only irritated Victoria more. Her expensive diamond earrings trembled with her rising anger. That beautiful face was clouded with obvious rage. Julian, after all these years, you haven't improved a bit, but your skin has certainly gotten thicker. A few stifled chuckles reached my ears. They looked me up and down. Compared to Victoria's limited edition couture gown, my suit was clearly several seasons old. But I remained breezy. Thanks for the compliment. I turned to leave, letting Victoria stew in her anger. Someone quickly changed the subject. Serena Vance is announcing big news today. Anyone heard the rumors? No, Serena has been so mysterious lately. It's hard to even get a meeting with her agent. Well, she's not just a movie star. She's a capital investor. Acting is just a hobby for her. The Serena Vance they were discussing was currently sending me voice notes on my phone, whining affectionately. Hubby, how long until you get here? My agent isn't looking. I need that matcha mousse now. I replied with a greedy cat emoji, putting the earlier confrontation behind me. Suddenly, the number that had blocked me years ago sent a barrage of texts. Julian, you see it now, right? This is the gap between us. You're the one who can't leave me. Without me, you're nothing. Was I really the one who couldn't leave her? Memories of my past life flooded back. The family in financial trouble hadn't been the Thornes. It was the Sterlings. Grandfather Sterling had leveraged decades of friendship, begging my grandfather for a lifeline to bind our family's interests together. Under extreme pressure from the elders, Victoria and I got engaged. The night before we were to sign the papers, I asked her, have you really thought this through? Money can be found elsewhere. You still have a chance to back out. Victoria hesitated, but eventually shook her head. She went to City Hall with me. I always knew the man she loved was Caleb Reed. He was a handsome guy with a sunny smile from a rural town. They met while volunteering in college. Even without me, the Sterling family vehemently opposed Victoria and Caleb. The reason was simple. He was poor, and he didn't fit their social status. We played the happy couple in public, but at home, we retreated to separate bedrooms, barely speaking a word. It was hard not to fall for a girl like Victoria. When she held my arm and introduced me as her husband to guests, my heart would soar into the stratosphere. I silently prayed that time would make her love me. I never expected Caleb to stumble into the entertainment industry. He exploded to fame that summer playing a young general in a historical drama. Victoria would stare at his photos in a daze. She left her wedding ring forgotten by the bathroom sink. We rarely appeared together, socially anymore. Victoria was intentionally fading out her image as my wife. Julian, let's get a divorce. She had been building up to it for a long time. I smiled bleakly. Vic, grandfather just injected a massive amount of capital into your family's project. Now isn't the time. I knew it wouldn't win her back, but I used excuses to stall. Okay. Victoria seemed to expect it. She packed her bags and moved out that night. We were divorced in all but name. Her company started expanding into new sectors, entertainment and media. The first time she posted a photo with Caleb on her timeline, the caption read, "Finally met again, my superstar." My heart plummeted from 10,000 feet and shattered into dust. The next time I saw Victoria, Caleb was embroiled in a dating scandal, and not with her. Victoria got wasted at a bar and ended up vomiting in the restroom. The bar owner, a friend of mine, called me. I rushed over to pick her up. Victoria held me and cried. Tell me, does love really operate on a first come, first served basis? I'm sorry, Caleb. I was too late. She fell asleep on my shoulder, her tears soaking my jacket. My nose stung, and tears streamed down my face. Yeah, love is about timing. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't compare to Caleb's place in her heart. I carried her into the elevator. A moment before we reached my floor, the elevator malfunctioned. Darkness swallowed us. We plummeted from the penthouse level. Amidst a deafening crash, we both died in that elevator shaft. Reborn to that night, I asked her if she was sure. Victoria didn't hesitate. She ripped off the ring. You're right. I'm not doing this. I nodded, agreeing instantly. Good. A flicker of surprise crossed her eyes. Our gazes locked for a second, and we both realized the other had also been reborn. We tacitly agreed never to mention the past. From then on, we didn't interfere with each other. With the experience from her past life, Victoria quickly solved her business crisis. My grandfather was furious about her backing out and cut off all ties with the Sterling family. I immediately boarded a flight out of the country. I left the last bite for you. I can't eat anymore. I have to watch my figure. Serena held the mousse to my lips, smiling brightly. I really couldn't say no to her. The sweet, earthy taste of matcha melted in my mouth. She wiped the corner of my lip with a napkin just as a knock sounded at the door. Ms. Vance, time for makeup. I tapped the tip of her nose with my finger, then cleaned up the trash to hide the evidence. I'll get going then. Serena looked reluctant to let me go. See you later. Have fun out there. I opened the door, and her makeup artist and assistant greeted me warmly. Julian. Hey guys, keep up the good work. I smiled and left the VIP suite. I didn't get far before I ran headlong into Caleb Reed. He was flanked by a few staff members. He deliberately stopped, blocking my path. He feigned politeness. Isn't this Master Thorne? I heard about your cake heist. What brings you to the VIP floor? The people around him wore expressions loaded with meaning. I couldn't be bothered to engage, but Caleb wouldn't let it go. Let me guess. What else are you trying to steal? A celebrity's pantyhose? His crude joke made his entourage burst into laughter. Ha. Everyone knew tonight's gala was a mix of business tycoons and entertainment stars. Everyone was networking. Caleb, cut the single guy some slack. No woman wants him. Having desires is normal. His lackey chimed in, hitting exactly the note Caleb wanted. The sinister smile on his face widened. He still held a grudge about my engagement to Victoria. Grandfather Sterling had once warned him to stay away from his granddaughter. Caleb blamed me for every humiliation he had suffered back then. Julian, Victoria is mine now. Are you jealous? Do your fans know your heart is this dirty in private? I asked. Caleb's eye twitched, his face paling for a split second. Through gritted teeth, he hissed, You've got some nerve threatening me. I patted his shoulder, pointing to a surveillance camera nearby. You'd better hope you're not afraid of threats. Caleb reluctantly unclenched his fist. I sneered and shoulder-checked him as I walked past. Caleb hissed in pain, glaring at me with pure hatred. Before the gala officially started, I went to the restroom to wash my hands. A while later, a sudden commotion rippled through the venue. Everyone was looking down, searching for something. Caleb, do you remember who came out of the men's room after you? Someone asked. The room fell silent, waiting for his answer. Caleb pretended to think hard. Let me think. Only Master Thorne was there. Then he added, but hey, he'd only steal a piece of cake. He wouldn't just walk off with an expensive watch. I wouldn't be so sure. Victoria was the first to step up and contradict him. The crowd's burning gaze stabbed at me again. Caleb had just gone to the restroom, and now his watch was missing. Somehow, the blame was being pinned on me. If someone steals once, you expect them not to steal again. Victoria frowned in disgust. Her words were dripping with sarcasm. Victoria's right. A guy who can't even afford cake would definitely love to find a luxury watch. Caleb's lackey jeered maliciously. Master Thorne, we all respect your grandfather, so we call you Master. If you really took it, just hand it over. Don't disgrace the Thorne legacy. A pot-bellied, middle-aged man stepped forward to play judge. If I recalled correctly, he had several business deals with the Sterlings. He was clearly trying to score points with Victoria. Others agreed. Yeah, making a scene looks bad for everyone. If you're in financial trouble, just ask us. We're old friends. We can help. How much is a watch worth? A man shouldn't lose his self-respect. I looked around the circle, coldly. Finally, I stared dead at Caleb. Evidence. Evidence? You still have a chance to turn yourself in. Once the evidence comes out, it'll be too late for regret. He was full of provocation. We stood in a stalemate for a moment. Caleb's assistant rushed over. He had gone to check the security footage and recorded it on his phone. The video showed Caleb entering the restroom. He was wearing the watch. I followed shortly after and came out in less than a minute. When Caleb emerged later, his wrist was bare. The video was passed around. Thinking they had discovered the truth, they began a moral crusade. He definitely stole it while Caleb was washing his hands. Going to the bathroom that fast? Guilty conscience. The Thorne family's reputation is ruined. Victoria coldly drew a line in the sand. Julian, you brought this humiliation on yourself. Satisfied? Master Thorne. Caleb held out a hand, demanding the watch. You don't really think I'd be interested in your junk, do you? I asked. Looking at the model, it's not even 50 grand. Is that considered expensive? I raised an eyebrow, crossing my arms casually. Caleb's expression stiffened visibly. He hadn't expected me to remain calm. Sounds like Master Thorne has a collection of fine watches. Why don't we see you wearing one? I just don't feel the need to show off, I said lightly. Caleb's mouth twitched. Victoria was even more furious. Are you done making excuses? I always knew you were a scoundrel. Thank God I didn't marry you. Being associated with someone like you is bad luck. Victoria elevated the topic to character assassination. People around us began to whisper. He's just jealous that Victoria is doing well. No wonder he wants revenge on her current boyfriend. His character is trash. If he can't have her, he wants to destroy her. Best to stay away from him. Victoria glared at me. Julian, stop using these tactics to get my attention. I don't love you. Give up. I laughed. Victoria, have you been around Caleb so long that you've caught his delusional narcissism? You. Both of their faces turned an ugly shade of red. Victoria snapped. Cut the crap. Give back what you stole and apologize to Caleb in front of everyone. Let me tell you seriously, I didn't steal it. I don't mind if you call the police. When they get here, they can search me. Just don't let the real thief get too scared to speak up. I deliberately looked at Caleb. He unnaturally averted his gaze. I'll call the precinct then. Someone who loved drama pulled out their phone, but Caleb stopped them. Forget it. Consider it a gift to Master Thorne. Let's not delay the main event. I immediately objected. No can do. Since you treasure it so much, we should turn the building upside down to find it. The police will definitely back you up, unless you're scared. Who says I'm scared? Caleb clearly lost some of his confidence. What's happening here? Serena Vance's cool, clear voice snapped everyone out of it. People automatically parted to make a path for her. Glancing at me from a distance, Serena walked slowly to my side. Under the chandeliers, her custom backless gown rippled like liquid silver, outlining her perfect curves. She looked like a moon goddess descending to earth. If Victoria was the mature beauty of time and experience, Serena was a beauty with innate aggression. A single inadvertent smile could make people surrender willingly. Compared to her, the former seemed inevitably common. Everyone present held their breath. Even though I'd seen her beauty 1,000 times, my heart still skipped a beat. Someone eagerly whispered the whole story into her ear. Serena gave me a look of trust. Catching this interaction, Victoria looked inexplicably uneasy. Caleb, are you sure? Faced with her question, Caleb acted uncomfortable. He rubbed his nose. I'm not saying it has to be him. Oh, so you're not 100% sure. Serena's attitude was subtle. Anyone with a brain could hear her displeasure. Ms. Vance, it's a small matter. Don't worry about it. It's over. Caleb forced an awkward smile. He was the one who started it, and now he was the one rushing to stop it. Even though he had millions of fans, compared to Serena's global reach and her massive business empire, The difference in status was clear at a glance. Serena refused him. No, we must investigate thoroughly. This concerns your property and Mr. Thorne's reputation. Her momentary hesitation was quickly replaced by composure. I'm a host today. I must give everyone an explanation. I will not wrong a good person, nor will I let a bad person go. Her words carried weight. Serena turned to me, her tones softening unconsciously. Mr. Thorne, how do you think we should handle this? The people in this circle were sharp. They naturally sensed that my relationship with Serena was not ordinary. Looks of shock and suspicion appeared on their faces. Victoria stared tightly at me, her eyes slowly filling with a sense of grievance, as if I had done something terrible to her. Simple. Call the police, I said. All right. Serena called her assistant and gave instructions. Less than 20 minutes later, the police arrived. They brought not only metal detectors, but also fingerprint and footprint specialists. The first place they checked was the men's restroom. Caleb's face went deathly pale. His body wouldn't stop shaking. His lackey stepped up, concerned. Caleb, are you okay? Leave me alone. He almost roared, shaking off the guy's hand. This behavior was highly abnormal. The others silently moved to stand behind me. Even Victoria kept her distance from him. Beep! The metal detector went off. They found Caleb's missing watch inside the toilet tank. After comparison, my fingerprints were not on it. He wiped them, Caleb said, his voice trembling. Furthermore, the stall where the watch was found contained footprints from Caleb and unrelated staff, but none from me. He wiped those too. I cut off the rest of Caleb's words. If I could steal your watch, pry open a heavy tank lid, hide it, and wipe both fingerprints and footprints all in under 60 seconds, I should be in the Mission Impossible movies. Who directed and starred in this show was obvious. Everyone woke up. From start to finish, it was Caleb trying to frame me. Mr. Reed, please come with us. The officer gestured for him to move. Filing a false report and defamation carried penalties. As he was led past U.S., Serena reminded him, Caleb, before you cultivate your art, cultivate your morals. It sounded more like a warning. Caleb hung his head low, utterly humiliated. With the farce ended, Serena secretly flashed me an okay sign and mouthed, done. Suddenly, Victoria bumped into someone. She said weakly, Ms. Sterling, that kid is too young. He's unreliable. The middle-aged man who had spoken for them earlier smiled forcefully. Seeing Victoria in a bad mood, he tactfully retreated. The crowd swarmed around Serena, heaping her with praise. Quite a few people also came to cozy up to me. Serena was clearly on my side. Being on good terms with me had no downside. They seemed to have forgotten how they judged me just minutes ago. After dealing with the pleasantries, Serena stepped up onto the stage. The clicking of her heels silenced the room. She held the microphone, her smile gentle yet enchanting. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend this gala. You are all my longtime friends and partners. Serena paused, letting the room settle. Here, I want to announce the most important decision of my life and invite you all to witness it. Serena slowly raised her left hand. On her ring finger sat a diamond ring, flashing brilliantly under the lights. I'm married, the room gasped, and my husband is Julian Thorne. It felt like a century passed in seconds. The crowd couldn't process it. Their faces were masks of pure shock. Did I hear that right? Julian Thorne, they're together? Since when? Countless people are going to lose sleep tonight. Serena lifted the hem of her gown, picking up her pace as she walked down the stage. She bypassed the crowd, took my hand, and led me to the microphone. Julian, will you marry me? She smiled, pulling out a ring box. So cheesy, I said, helpless but doting. I had already proposed to her once, and we had the marriage certificate to prove it. But she insisted on giving me a romantic proposal ceremony too, saving the surprise for the grand finale to leave the guests bewildered. I won't be cheesy. Come on, say it. Will you marry me? Offer expires soon, Serena continued to tease. I turned around, and in front of everyone, I said seriously and firmly, I will marry Serena Vance, and I will love her, and only her, forever. The applause below was thunderous, a wave of enthusiastic blessings. Except for Victoria. She looked panicked. Her wine glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor, red liquid splashing on her dress. She didn't even think to wipe it. Her eyes filled with tears, staring unblinkingly at me. I felt nothing. Look at me. Don't look at anyone else. Serena pulled my attention back and slid the ring onto my finger. Okay, only you. I smiled and pulled her into my arms. Under the flashing cameras, I kissed her devoutly. 5 minutes later, social media exploded. Global superstar officially announces marriage. A group photo was attached. All the familiar faces of the entertainment and business world were in the background, but Serena and I were in the center, kissing amidst falling confetti. The comment section was screaming. This is literally a romance novel plot. So happy for them. I bet $200 they last forever. Tears of envy are streaming from my eyes. Serena's fans weren't surprised. She had revealed in interviews over the last 2 years that she planned to marry. She had prepped them. People dug up my background. Julian Thorne, known in business circles as Bowen. I managed a massive multinational corporation. Most of the films Serena starred in were secretly funded by me. That year when Serena fell from a wire stunt, the doctors said she might lose feeling in her left leg. I hired the best specialists, canceled all my work, and silently accompanied her through rehab. She eventually defied the odds, rising like a phoenix from the ashes. Her first comeback film won her the Best Actress award again. Netizens were calling me the national brother-in-law. Her fans were extremely satisfied with me. That night, I held Serena as she scrolled through comments, a smile playing on her lips. Victoria had left without being in the group photo. I didn't care. It was Serena who mentioned she had gone, fleeing without even changing her wine-stained dress. You invited her on purpose, didn't you? I poked at her little scheme. Serena pursed her lips, not denying it. Her jealous side was always cute. This suit is a little old. Serena zoomed in on the photo of me, discussing buying me a new set. I like it. It's the first gift you ever gave me. The next day at the office, colleagues congratulated me. Before returning to the States, I had acquired a new company and was handling key projects. My vice chairman came to my office to chat. Bowen, there's a visitor who insists on seeing you. Do they have an appointment? No. The interesting thing is, she says she's your wife. Victoria stood there with red eyes, looking exhausted and sorrowful. It looked like she had cried all night. Did you really marry her? She asked. Or is it like us before, for business interests, and you don't actually love her? I love her very much. I interrupted Victoria. I emphasized my feelings for Serena. We're legally married. She's my only true love. Victoria shook her head to herself. I don't believe it. You're lying to me. When the elevator fell, you protected me with your body. The person you love is me. I suddenly found it funny. After dying once, I had let go. Rather than throwing my whole self at someone who didn't love me, it was better to set us both free to find true love and cherish this hard-won second life. That was years ago, Victoria. You were the one who broke the engagement. Is there any point in saying this now? If there's nothing else, you should leave. My wife is coming over soon. I glanced at my watch. I had specifically chosen to meet Victoria in a hallway. Employees passed by occasionally greeting me. Hearing the word wife, Victoria grabbed my hand like it was a reflex. Tearfully, she said, Julian, did I give you permission to marry someone else? I calmly pulled my hand back and took a step away. I don't need your permission, and I wish you and Caleb a lifetime of happiness. He's not like you. Victoria's voice choked up, covering her face with her hands as she wept. I don't want to leave him, but I can't bear to lose you. Typical narcissist logic. Honestly, I couldn't understand her anymore. Victoria continued, seeing you unhappy actually made me sad. Those hurtful things I said weren't from the heart. It's your fault for ignoring my life. But seeing you kiss someone else, I can't stand it. Julian, can we get back together? I shifted my gaze to the view outside the floor-to-ceiling window. Calmly, I pronounced the death sentence. It's impossible between us. You're lying. Victoria was drowning in the past, unable to pull herself out. The vows you made to Serena, you made to me, too. You can't break your word. We were husband and wife, too. We never filed divorce papers. You have to be responsible for me. I was responsible for you. I paid with my life. Isn't that enough? Victoria went mute. A flicker of terror crossed her eyes, as if she had seen a ghost. If I hadn't been worried about her safety, I wouldn't have gone to that bar to pick her up. I wouldn't have stepped into that faulty elevator. The excruciating pain of falling from that height was still my nightmare. I had failed my family, but the only person I hadn't failed was Victoria. Yet she was still obsessed. Divorce Serena. I'll make it up to you. We can have a child. Do you like boys or girls? Impatiently, I shattered her fantasy. Wake up. Even without Serena, I would never get back together with you in this lifetime. I walked past her. Victoria subconsciously opened her arms, expecting a hug that would never come. The next second, Serena threw herself into my arms. Hubby, I missed you. The scent of my lover cleared my mind instantly. I missed you too, wifey. I kissed her forehead. Victoria's body went stiff, her arms dropping awkwardly. She turned her back to us and walked in the opposite direction. Her steps got faster and faster until she fled disappearing around the corner. If I had come a minute later, my husband might have been stolen away. Serena frowned, pretending to be angry. I'm yours. No one can steal me. I rubbed her head. I knew Serena had been waiting for me. Every employee who greeted me had glanced toward the obscure corner down the hall before looking back at me with confusion. She trusted me to handle it. She didn't mind that I was a man who had been engaged before. All right, let's not think about her. I have no schedule this morning. Take me to your company cafeteria. Serena linked her arm through mine, laughing as we walked. Julian, please don't die. The woman in her sleep murmured incessantly, her expression full of pain. I gently patted her back to soothe her. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I'm alive and well. Serena struggled to wake up. Her open eyes were slightly red. 2 tears rolled down from the corners of her eyes. Thank God it was just a dream. She drank the water I handed her, still shaken. What did you dream about? I asked patiently, a strange intuition rising in me. I dreamed. The elevator malfunctioned. You and Victoria both died. Even though your family didn't invite me, I still went to your funeral. Every year after you died, I went to your grave to deliver flowers. I regretted so much that I didn't tell you sooner. I liked you. Earlier than you ever thought. Serena tugged at the corner of my shirt, recounting a story. The year she first started getting famous, she was only 18. At a dinner party, a group of powerful producers forced her to drink. Her tolerance was low. She felt sick after a few glasses. She thought that achieving fame upon debut meant she could avoid the industry's dark side. But she was too naive. Her agent told her to make them happy to get more resources. The person she trusted most pushed her toward the predators like she was a product on display. She screamed in fear. Her glass fell, splashing wine on a man's trousers. The mogul forced her to kneel and apologize. Just as she was losing all hope, a boy in a prep school uniform burst into the private room. He looked about 16 or 17. He spoke up and stopped everything. Bullying a girl? Is that fun for you? The boy asked. You're old enough to be your grandfather. Have some dignity. The mogul flipped the table in rage. Where the hell did this little bastard come from? The boy's expression was indifferent, his tone dismissive. Julian Thorne, heir to the Thorne dynasty. You might want to think twice before you finish that sentence. The room went dead silent. The Thornes were the tycoons among tycoons. Compared to Julian Thorne, this producer was nothing. If Julian was here, his elders were likely next door. The man slumped back into his chair, terrified. You're an actress, right? Take my card. Go sign with my family's media company. No one will dare touch you. He glared at her agent. Even while still in school, Julian had exquisite business cards. Clutching in her hand, it felt warm. Why are you still sitting there? Go, Julian said to the others. The group of men scrambled to grab their coats, fleeing faster than rabbits. Serena was worried about breach of contract fees, so she didn't end up signing with his company. But fortunately, she didn't face any more injustice after that. Her agent became respectful. Where her contract expired, she heard news of Julian going abroad. She decided to develop her career overseas for a while. She also founded her own company. As she wished, she reunited with him at an art exhibition. He had clearly forgotten the incident. She mustered the courage to exchange contact info. After her relentless pursuit, they finally started dating. And that's how it happened. I remembered you, Julian. Serena pinched my cheek. Sorry, I don't remember. Back then, my family always dragged me to social events. I didn't fit into that atmosphere. I often made excuses to sneak out, pretending to wander the corridors, but actually eavesdropping on conversations in the private rooms. Whenever I encountered unfairness, I couldn't wait to play the hero. My grandfather didn't know that behind his back, I used his name to stir up trouble. It was a miracle I survived to adulthood. It doesn't matter, as long as I remember. Serena smiled beautifully. Strong people should protect the weak. That's what I learned from you. She said that all these years, she had been passionate about charity largely because of my influence. I couldn't help but feel a bit smug. True love is positive and uplifting. No matter what difficulties I faced, I had her support behind me. She cried with me, laughed with me. She put herself in my shoes and gave me infinite tolerance. We had never had a single fight. Serena looked seriously into my eyes. I don't want to lose you a second time. We huddled close together. I didn't want to miss her again either. Caleb Reed's career imploded. He was exposed for cheating with multiple female fans simultaneously. Public opinion on the internet was in an uproar. The comment section was full of condemnation. One of the female fans was the very same one he had been rumored to be dating in my past life. I had to marvel at how karma works. Some things change, but some things stay the same. One night, I was woken up by the ringing of my phone. Groggily, I pressed answer, forgetting to check the caller ID. Victoria's voice, thick with tears, echoed in my ear. Julian, I'm sick. I feel so terrible. Can you come see me? My sleepiness vanished instantly. I quickly moved to soothe my wife, who had also been woken up. Serena grunted unhappily. Ms. Sterling, there should be plenty of people who want to care for you. You don't need me. I was about to hang up. Julian. Victoria screamed my name excitedly, crying until she was hoarse. I regret it. I really regret it. I shouldn't have broken the engagement. I've thought it through. My true love is you. At this point, saying more was useless. I explained patiently. You only regret that you wanted too much and ended up with nothing. No, it's not like that. Why? I was there first, but I still lost. Victoria despaired completely. Love doesn't work on a first-come, first-served basis. The person who isn't loved is always the loser. I gave this sentence to Victoria, and to my former self. Victoria was lying to herself. You still love me, otherwise you wouldn't have answered my call. Hubby, I'm so sleepy. Let's go back to sleep. Serena cuddled into me, whining. She deliberately dragged out the end of her sentence, loud enough for the person on the other end to hear clearly. Victoria went silent. A full 10 seconds passed. Disheartened, she hung up the phone. I put down the phone and slid back under the covers. The person I loved most was right beside me on the pillow. I had nothing else to ask for.